Yo, everybody, what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Look who decided to come on the show, guys. Look who it is, freaking SAMPAGE. Sam Hughes. What's going on, Sam? How you doing? This is 2 interviews now. This has happened. 2 interviews. Yeah. Sam, let me know when you can hear me. Just say anything when you can hear me. I'm sorry.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Hopefully sometimes the longer it goes in, it evens out and it calms down.
Okay.
Okay, so I was just saying that me and DC were hoping it was due to Ric Flair.
No, it actually wasn't. So it actually had nothing to do with Ric Flair, but that's actually really cool that he's used that before. For me, it was being a USC Gamecock. I went to grad school at the University of South Carolina. And so that was a big kind of nostalgia moment for me, and basically just kind of signifying that, hey, I'm home, and, Texas is my home. South Carolina is, where I grew up and everything. So bringing a little piece of that where I used to compete and just like really thrive. That was kind of the significance of 2001 Space Odyssey for me, and I think I'm going to continue to use that just because it actually gives me chill bumps, like thinking about my walkout and thinking about walking to the cage and using that song. So to me it signifies quite a bit.
Yeah, please keep doing it. Do you hear a lot of woos coming from the fans when you walk out to that?
I actually didn't, but now I'm gonna look out for it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, please don't change that. I love it. You didn't do it last fight, but the fight before, one of your cornermen used to smack you in the face.
Yep. Yeah,
Is
that kind of gets me going. I feel like I need, like, so for me, I have like that nervous energy. I don't know why. I have that nervous energy right up until like the first time I get hit. And then I'm like, okay, now I can get going. Now I can like get into my groove. But it's feeling that first hit from my opponent that actually kind of gets me like, okay, then that's what I get to expect, what I kind of get to feel. Because some people hit a lot harder than other people. So it's kind of nice to be like, okay, that's no problem. I can deal with that. I can walk through that. There's no problem. So that slap in the face kind of just wakes me up and is like, be ready right now. So I don't know why. It helps me.
because you're a freaking SAMPAGE, and I'm gonna keep saying
Exactly.
that.
I'm a
You're a
weirdo.
badass. So we cover. So, what happened your last? I noticed your nose was already. You must have gotten a fight in the parking lot or something before you went just to get a warm up in. Like what? What happened to your
Okay,
nose?
so I actually got a lot of questions about this through Instagram. People were messaging me. I don't even know how many times I just ended up like copying and pasting my responses. But what actually happened was a week prior. So I fought on the I think it was the 16th. And a week before that, on Thursday, so it must have been like 10 days before, I was in wrestling practice. And my buddy and I, like, it was like mat burn or something, that it scraped off like the first layer of skin. And the only thing, it never bled. The only thing that was coming out was like that, like the watery liquid. So it's like plasma. And then it just had a really bad scab. And I was trying to cover it up like the whole week and trying to put like Vaseline and make it heal and stuff, but nothing was working because I was, working out every single day. I was sweating and rubbing the scab off. And so it never got time to heal. And for the face-offs, it was funny because I heard a bunch of people say, well, it wasn't there yesterday. It was like, yeah, it actually was, but I put makeup over it to try to like cover it up. And it did a pretty good job. I don't know if Estella noticed or anything else, but that's what I did. I just put makeup over it, and then the next day, it really started to heal, and that's when everybody saw the scab. So that's what that was. It wasn't a big deal. It was just basically matte burn, right on my nose. So it looked worse than it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look bad. I was just like, man, she's in Vegas. Did she go out partying, or did she just have a tune-up fight in the parking lot just to get ready?
I should have gone with that story. I should have consulted you
Right?
and then told everybody that.
Say, yep, I threw hands in the parking lot just to get tuned up, and then
Just a
I was
little
ready
warm
to
up.
go.
Yep.
Yeah. How's Texas, by the way? You changed it. But first of all, you said you changed gyms. You're so much happier now, and definitely we saw it in your last fight. How is Texas treating you?
Man, Texas is treating me like it's like welcoming me with open arms and just giving me like the biggest hug. I love being in Texas. I love being at Fortis. I train jiu-jitsu at Progresso Jiu-Jitsu, which is in Plano. It's just a little bit north of Dallas, but yeah, Texas is amazing. I'm surrounded by super positive people, positive attitudes every single day, people that want to help me get better. And likewise, I'm helping, my training partners do the best they can. So it's just been a super positive environment, something that, I never want to change. I'm definitely going to retire in Texas. This is the only place that I want to be.
Yeah, I keep getting, because I'm in California and I was born and raised here, and I don't like what's going on here. I'm not going to get into political stuff, but I've been eyeballing Texas a little bit and Florida to get the hell out of here. And it's heartbreaking because I
and
grew up here.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, there's like a multitude of reasons why I left Washington, but the politics was definitely one of them. I was just like, Washington's following everything California's doing, and it's just craziness, and I need to get the hell out of here. So that was one of the many reasons why I left Washington. But yeah, Florida's pretty good. My brother's actually in medical school down in Miami, and he loves it. I just went to Miami for like a little vacation. It was like maybe 3 days down with him. And it was awesome. The weather is like amazing. And the people down there are so great. And plus the sunshine, it doesn't get any better than that.
So you like me? Do you love like the warm, the hot weather?
The hotter, the better in my book. Like I'm so looking forward to like 90-degree weather, 95 plus 100. It doesn't matter. I'm like, if I'm in a full sweat, I'm like the happiest. If I'm cold, I'm miserable and just angry.
Me too. I'm the exact same way. And I was looking through your Instagram. Well, I've been following you for a long time since your PFL days. Like I tried to get a hold of you earlier. And then I think it was your previous manager or your current one, because I don't know if you changed camps, but I just never heard anything back. So I've been trying to get you on the show. You're a fisherman. You like fishing.
Oh yeah, I love to fish. That's so that's a big one for me. My brother and I actually we're best friends, and that's a big thing that we do. Actually, my dad kind of taught me when I was little, and I would go out and fish with my grandpa as well. But lake fishing is amazing. And then after my next fight, I plan to go back to Miami, and we're going to do some deep sea fishing. So that's a big one for me. Just being outdoors, fishing, hiking, like that's where I'm like most happiest outside of the gym, obviously. But yeah, fishing is awesome.
Well, you're gonna love deep sea fishing. I did it once with my uncle out here, and we were catching a sand shark every minute. I think it was. We caught 80 that day. You're gonna love it.
Oh my God. Where did you go? Out like off of California?
Yeah, so I'm closest to Oakland. So there's a pier there in San Leandro. So yeah, we just took his boat out like 100 feet out, and every 2 minutes or a minute we were just catching him. Yeah, it was so fun.
That is really, really cool. Yeah, I've only caught like a couple black tip sharks. This was years ago. This was probably 10 years ago, but this is off of South Carolina beaches, like Folly Beach and things like that. But oh, it's so much fun. Whenever you get like a sea bass on there, you keep those and eat them, and they're delicious.
Oh my, I swear you're like the female version of me right now. You sound
it sounds like that.
You sound just like me. You like country music. I know that. I've seen that. Let me back up.
You know what? I'm actually really disappointed because my buddy reached out to me, and he lives in California too, and he was like, "Hey, I've got 2 Stagecoach tickets if you want them after your fight." And I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. This is like perfect planning." So I think that's this week. Yeah, it's this weekend. But anyway, I had to give the tickets back because I took another fight. So I was like, well, I can't actually make it like I said I would, but Stagecoach is on the calendar for next year because I really want to go.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, I like 90s country, like the old, like George
Yep.
Strait. Like if there ain't a steel guitar in it, I don't even want to freaking hear it. That's just me. I'm just old school like that.
No, I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm just a country boy at heart. Even in California, I call myself the concrete cowboy.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Wait, did you say you're having another fight coming up?
I am. I guess the cat's out of the bag. I can't like say anything
Right.
specific, but it's
Right.
very soon. It's very soon. It was a quick turnaround, but I'm very excited to release that news and tell everybody about it.
I cannot wait to hear. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of us YouTube guys that pick fights. So I'm different from everybody else. Just to give you a little background, um, everybody else does more of the sports gambling aspect of it.
Okay.
I do DraftKings and FanDuel, which is totally different.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So what that is you get a when you're making a fantasy lineup, right? Like fantasy football. But for
Yep.
UFC, I'm one of the rare people that do videos for that. And so yeah, you get $50,000 to build a lineup, and each fighter's priced a certain amount. And you've been an underdog every time. And by the
Every
way,
time.
in my personal opinion, I think you beat Luma. I think you had the control time in the second and the third round. That's just I watch fight tape for all week. I spend my whole time. So I think I know a thing or two about fights and watching that
Yep.
stuff, but I think you won that fight.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. Halfway through the second round and the third round were completely mine, and I think I did a really good job at outstriking her, outlanding everything. It was just those couple sweeps and couple trips in the beginning that I think the judges gave, but I didn't think it was unanimous. If I could go back and get that fight again, I would. That would be a big one for me.
Well, maybe down the road you will, but I
Yeah.
think you might pass her up in the rankings. You're just so active.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize this, but when I say I watch fight tape and I watch your fights, I don't know if you realize this, but you got thunder, you got lightning. I don't know if you realize the power you have and how freaking fast you are with your striking. Has anyone
Thank
ever
you.
told you that?
Yeah, so that was a big thing. Safe really was getting after me this fight camp to be more active and use my cardio, because him and I both agree that it's a big, it's like one of my strengths. I mean, it's one of my biggest strengths is just cardio for days, and using that speed and keeping that same pace for the whole time. I just need to keep using that. So that was a big change that we made, and especially with switching camps, it was just something that really speared me through, and I used all my attributes. So yeah, um, yeah, it was all Safe's doing, and Charles Bird, he's my striking wrestling coach. So that was a big one for me that changed.
Yeah, when you hit people, their heads snap back and
Yep.
snap back in a big way. And they back up and they're like, okay, she
Wait
can
a
hit.
minute.
Yeah, she can hit hard and she's fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, just getting people to respect that jab and then using it more often is yeah, a big thing that I do.
and speaking of cardio, you have probably, track and field, I'm sure helped a lot because I'm friends with other UFC fighters. Some have cardio issues, and I'm like, look, because I'm out here by AKA, Khabib and all them. The secret, let me know if you agree with me. The secret to good cardio is running. What do you agree with that, or do you think it's
You were spot on. No, you're absolutely spot on. And that's like something that I really am thankful for, that I went through and ran cross country, ran track. Because now for me, running is like therapeutic. It's not like, oh, I've got to go run. It's like, man, I get to go run. I get to like forget about everything else and shut everything else. Like when I'm really really stressed, I'm like, I just need to go for a run and just forget about everything. So it's like, it's a great attribute because I'm like, well, I get to train more and now I can push this cardio and it's fun for me. I like to see if I can, like, I'll do out and backs quite a bit. So I'll run like 3 out, 3 back and see if I can beat my time on the 3 miles back. And so it's just really therapeutic for me. And that's one thing that I love that I can just rely on and kind of lean into is my cardio. And I don't get tired.
No, and when you start doing these 5 round fights, oh boy, they're gonna be. I don't care who it is. They're gonna be in trouble in those
Yep,
4th and 5th rounds.
because as I go on, you see, I'm a slow starter. That first round is always a little bit rough, and that's something that we're trying to fix. And then rounds 3, 4, and 5 are just going to be a nightmare for people, because that's when I really feel like I start to pick up.
Yeah, and then so you said you were gonna pick up your wrestling game. So I thought, I've always known you're a well-rounded fighter. And like I said, I've been watching your PFL all the way to UFC, and you got signed within what, 5 years? Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yep.
Like,
No, that's correct.
so
It
you're
was
a
a fast. It was a fast track.
oh yeah, that's a fast track. So that's just
Yeah.
especially with Uncle Dana about what he thinks about your skills and what you can do. And real quick before we get into this last fight, you have not had an easy road in the UFC. I don't want you to ever look at your record as a fan and as somebody that loves the sport. We all know whenever SAMPAGE is on a freaking card, we all get excited on YouTube.
Good.
But do not take that. Don't look at that record. I mean, you were your debut, a top 10, and it's not like you've had an easy path here. And you
No.
in that last fight, you beat a very good fight, a very dangerous striker. So how proud of you of that?
Yeah, extremely proud, to say the least. I knew what I was getting myself into for this fight, and I knew how talented Estella was, and her resume is very deep. So for me, I looked at that like, hey, this is the best test that I can do going into this, and changing camps was huge for me. So let me just show everybody what I'm actually truly capable of, and let me show everybody what my potential is, because this is me at my best. And I've got nothing but to go up from here. I'm in the best camp in the world. I have the best people surrounding me, so my potential is limitless, and I truly believe that I'm unbreakable. So I'm just excited for these next fights and just keep grinding and keep going and keep pushing. And I think I'm really honestly going to be somebody that's hard to deal with in the strawweight division. So I'm just excited for the future, and I'm excited that I got that win over Estella. She's tough, and I think after fighting Loma and after fighting I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on her name, but the last Luana, I'm sorry, Luana.
Yeah.
I think that I've shown people that, hey, I'm not going to break. Hey, I deserve to be here. I've had a tough road. I know so many people in the strawweight division that have had some easy fights and, have gotten a couple wins under the belt, but that's not the road that I ever wanted to take. I want to be pushed. I want to be, have my potential pulled out of me, and be tested. And I want to show everybody that I am the best, and I am coming for big things, big things.
Well, I don't think. I mean that Luana fight, you had that second round. She got lucky there at the end with that Hail Mary blitz, and then I think you took the third round. So again, another one to where when people look at records, that's all they look at. No, you have to look at all this stuff. So technically, I think you could have won that fight too.
Yep, and that's what Coach Safe and I talked about as well. Is like, I mean, I knew what was gonna happen with the T-shirt fight. I was coming in there 5 days notice. I was just going to do my best and see what happens. And that was going to be fine. But I got the contract. And then with Loma, I really truly believed that I won the second half of the second round and the third round. So but it is what it is. And then with Luana, same exact thing. But I know where my weaknesses are as far as being a slow starter. But I'm changing that. And it's obvious in the rounds that I do in the gym and the conversations that I have with Coach Safe. I'm changing a lot of things, and I'm really, really happy about it. And I can't wait to showcase more.
Oh, I can't wait either. I can't wait. Out of all the ladies that you fought, who's hitting the hardest, do you think?
Oh man. I think Luana hits pretty hard. Tisha throws a lot of volume, so it's just getting overwhelmed and dealing with how active she is and how much volume she throws. But I wouldn't say that like whenever she hit me that I was like, oh my God, that was the hardest punch I've ever gotten. I think with Luana, whenever I fell backwards, I was walking backwards at the same time, which is terrible. And then I had my chin up a little bit, and that's what just like got me down, and I kind of tripped, kind of fell. But yeah, I would say maybe Luana. I'm not sure though. I can't really remember now. But honestly, like in the gym, probably Jen. Jen hits really hard. So I mean,
Yeah,
as a training partner, you know, those rounds that I get in with Jen are just rough, just really rough. But they help me out a lot.
and Are you one of those fighters that go hard when you guys spar in the gym?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Jen and I laugh because after our rounds and stuff, we're like, man, we're not even getting paid for this. We're just doing this just because we love this shit. And it's so funny because those are like actual like UFC fights. I mean, like whenever we do our rounds, it's like, Jesus, like I can't believe I just went through all that and like didn't get paid for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, some fighters do that, some fighters don't. Let's talk about this fight. So,
Okay.
first round, solid first round. She got you with the eye poke.
Yep.
For one of many, one of many. Um, and I asked you before, but I don't think we got it was all messed up. How is your eye doing?
Yeah, it's actually good. I was worried about it after the fight. Nothing was blurry during the fight. It was just irritated, you know, like whenever it just starts watering and it's trying to heal itself and things like that. But I had the doctor look at it afterwards, and he said everything was okay. Nothing looked, you know, significantly damaged or anything like that. So I wasn't worried about it. But it did heal pretty quickly. It's funny, even whenever I had the stitches in my nose and everything else, the doctor told me, he's like, man, you heal like Wolverine. He was like, I just can't believe you're already like healed, and it's only been like 3 days after the fight. So it's kind of funny. I guess I'm a good healer, which is good. I'm in a good business for it.
Yeah, I am too. It's a Native American in me. I mean, our tribe, we take all the stuff, and it's amazing. But you might, I don't know, you might have some Native American genes too. You might want to look that up. It's a trait of ours.
Well, I think maybe you're probably right because I do. I'm half Hispanic on my mom's side. She's Hispanic, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
my her side is all from like Chihuahua, Mexico, and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, maybe that's what it is. I just heal really well from that.
Chihuahua. Yeah. And I think of your mom and your dad. Oh my goodness. From the picture that you posted on Instagram on that Father's Day one, you're a spitting image of
Yep.
your father.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, he gave me this crooked nose, so that's okay.
Oh no, you're gorgeous. Stop it. First of all.
Oh, thank
Second of
you.
all, yeah, I mean, he has to be so proud. This is I have a son, but I can imagine having a daughter. I'd be way too protective. But if she looked like me, as a guy, we're just like, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely no denying my dad.
Nope.
Yeah, I have his attributes, which is good. Which is good. I love him. He's super proud of me, so it's all I can ask for.
Well, that's good. I mean, your mom, your dad, for them to be there, you got family support.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I'll go back and ask you this after we go through this fight, and then we'll get to the questions in the chat. So the
Perfect.
first round, it is what it was. Slow start, like you said. Um,
Yep.
she came in. I love to see this too. She came in all dancing. She had a look on her face like she was so confident. Second round comes, lots of back and forth. You guys are swinging back and forth. Then you land that takedown right into a crucifix right at the end of the round. Do you think she was saved by the bell right there?
Yes. 1,000% yes. If I had 20 more seconds, maybe 30 more seconds, I could have ended that. You know, because I was watching the Bellator fights this past weekend, and I think Liz Carmouche did the same thing. And she ended in a crucifix, and it was, I mean, sometimes I look back and it's like, man, I wish I would have just like gotten that takedown maybe 20 or 30 seconds before, and then I could have ended it. But it is what it is. You can't think like that. But that's Yeah, I could have ended it in the second for sure.
Yeah, that was just beautiful. How you just
Thank you.
got right into that crucifix immediately, and she was in trouble. I mean, she couldn't defend her face. So
Mm-mm.
that's how the second round ends. And then I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed third round, her facial expression completely changed. I don't know if you ever read that in fighters, but she had a look of defeat on her face already at the beginning of that first round. Did you notice that?
Yes. So I'll tell you a funny story. After the fight, I was talking to my corners, and Coach Safe, Charles Bird, and Alexander Trans were all there. And Alex is my jiu-jitsu professor. And he goes, "Was she talking to her corner?" And I was like, I don't think so. I didn't hear her say anything. But he speaks Brazilian or Portuguese, and he lived in Brazil for a while. And anyway, he said their corners said some phrase that was like, "Yes, you can do it." And I forget how it translated or anything, but basically they were answering her question that she yelled at them and was like, "I don't think I can do this," or "I don't think this is possible." And that's the translation that he was telling me. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. But I did see in the second round, and I'll say this, she took a deep breath and she goes, and I was like, I got your ass. I knew she was quitting. And so that was big for me, and that was the huge momentum change after that. And I knew that, you know, takedowns would be possible, or really anything. After that deep breath and that kind of like, oh fuck moment from her. Everything was going to be possible, and I could just do whatever I wanted to her. So it was pretty cool.
Oh my God, I didn't know that because
Yeah, I didn't
they
either.
went to
And I
commercial.
actually, I've never
Yeah.
told that story to anybody outside my family, but I was like, that's actually a pretty cool little thing that I have, like a little back pocket. You know, as my jujitsu coach, he speaks Portuguese, so it's perfect.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
your cardio is going to
but
be a
I didn't
problem.
find that out in between rounds. I only found that out after the fight.
Oh, after the fight. Okay.
Yeah, it was after.
Yeah, your cardio is going to be a problem for these ladies. I'm just saying. And then she lands another eye poke.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about that when it happened again?
At that point, I thought she was tired, and I think that's why she did it, because she wanted that little bit of a break. And it wasn't big for me to like stop or like um have the ice pack on my face or anything like that. So I was just like, I think she wants a break, so let's just keep going. I know she's tired, so I don't want her to rest at all. Let's just, you know, I'll deal with what it is. And if I'm having a little bit of blurry vision or anything like that, I'll deal with it, because I really just want to go to the ground and beat her up. Um, and not strike with her anymore. So yeah, that was pretty big for me.
Yeah, so the ref took a point. I love that ref, by the way. He's really big about taking points, especially, for eye pokes. So he took
Man,
that point
I'll
away.
tell you what. When Mark walked into the warm up room for us in the back, I was so happy because I love him as a ref. He's like one of the best refs in the UFC. I was really really happy, and for him to do that, I know he was watching out for that. And she has a tendency to grab the cage too. So
Yep.
before, I mean, all of her videos and stuff like that, before all the tape that we watched, she grabs the cage like every single fight. So I was like, "Hey Mark, can you just watch for cage grabs?" And he's like,
Oh,
"Yeah, no
nice.
problem." Yeah.
So you watched tape too. Yeah, I noticed that too. And
Oh
she
yeah.
did do that. But
Yep.
she did that in the second round, but you still got her down.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so then the eye poke took a point, then another takedown. I think that pretty much sealed the deal. Um, Another beautiful takedown, by the way. Your wrestling game is definitely improving. And that's
It
gonna
is definitely improving, and I'm very very happy about that. I just, yeah, my wrestling coach Charles Bird, he has done amazing work, and you know, made a lot of changes. What I thought was, you know, learning really good wrestling, but turns out it wasn't really. So in working with Jen Frey, it's like, man, I think she's the best strawweight wrestler in that division. So you know, I'm learning so much from her. And it's just really good. And then to be, you know, in a room with Damon too, Damon Jackson, like that guy, his jujitsu, his wrestling is really, really good.
Yeah, I say he's probably one of the best. I'm a huge fan of Damon Jackson. I let him know
Yep.
that immediately and because I respect the wrestling in UFC. I love striking too. It's entertaining, it's fun, but I was a high school wrestler and all that stuff, so I really enjoy the wrestling when a
Same.
fighter busts that out. And I originally thought you were a high school wrestler, and then I found
Oh,
out, wait a
really?
minute, he was track and field. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. How
Yeah.
you just pick up on it just like that. So, and then the last 10 seconds of the fight, she's kicking, she's trying to get you off. Um, the horn rings, and you kind of just like, get off me. Then you walk away and you scream. At that moment, did you know you had it wrapped up?
I knew I won. After that, I had a really dominant third round, really good round in the second round. And I just knew. I was like, okay, 2-1. I don't care. Even if they did score a 10-8 round, which whenever I went back and watched the first round, I was like, I don't think that was a 10-8 round. I knew it was a 10-9 round, but in my mind, it wasn't as dominant as, everybody was saying. I mean, I didn't get knocked down. I didn't get like super outclassed or anything like that. I was just slow to start, and I kind of got pieced up here and there. But I didn't think it was as dominant as that. But the second and third round, that was dominance for me. I really believe so. So yeah, after I heard that bell ring, I was like, I've got this. I've definitely got this.
Well, you never know with these judges. Like I have a particular friend that I told you about, and when she fought Macy Barber, it's a good thing I wasn't there. I would have pulled a
Yeah.
Michael Chiesa. I would have pulled a Conor McGregor and jumped in that octagon. Like, I was upset. I was pissed. And
Yep.
these judges, sometimes you never know. Does that ever cross your mind?
Yeah. And I think you even see it as they're reading the Bruce Buffer's reading the scorecards. He says like 29-27, 29-27, and 28-28. And I was like,
It's always the
what?
third one. It's always the third
It,
one that they call. You're like, what?
yeah, how the hell did that happen? But I was like, whatever, it is what it is. But that's the issue, is like you really can't let it go to the judges anymore. In exactly with Macy Barber and Miranda, like I was in Houston watching that fight whenever it happened, because I was actually at a Fury on a Fury card just helping corner, and I was shocked too. I watched it and I was like, she didn't lose that fight. There's no way she lost that fight. But yeah, I think was it a split or was it unanimous
It was
or
a split.
majority?
It was a
It was
split.
split. Yeah.
But I pulled up all the stats. She outstruck her. She did everything more, time control, everything more.
Yeah.
I was just blown away. And I mean, I've seen some robberies, but that was, maybe I'm a little biased because she's my friend. But oh man, oof,
Yeah.
I'm happy. Not
Yeah,
happy.
I know. I was shocked to see it, but I was thinking, I was like, man, that's exactly why you can't take it to this to the judges. But sometimes you can't even control that. It's. I mean, these girls that we fight with in the strawweight and the flyweight division, it's like, I mean, these girls are tough. Like, they're really hard to put away. Everybody's so tough. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, your post-fight interview, you were emotional. It got me emotional. Thank you very much. Because I'm going through some personal stuff right now. I recently just lost my brother, who we were very close. We grew up together.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I'm not going to ask you, I'm not, like I said before we came on, like, I don't ask people about, their big personal stuff. But what was, like, when you get your hand raised and all those emotions are coming through, is that like what hit you just then?
Yeah, it was a culmination of just a bunch of different things, Gabe. I really struggled in Washington, because for me, loyalty is like number one. Like, I'll be loyal to the day I die.
Thank you. Me
That's
too.
yeah, and I have a really hard time, even when I'm getting the short end of the stick, and even when I'm in a very shitty situation. I'm like, you know what? I started with this person. I should end with this person, and I shouldn't be the one to like gym hop and everything. But I love this sport so much, and I wanted to have a career. I want to have a career, and I want to have a long lasting career in the sport. So it's like, are you going to pick loyalty to somebody that truly doesn't deserve it, or are you gonna actually save your own career, save your own life, and get out of that situation, which was a very shitty situation. Uh, and that's exactly what I did. I was like, you know what? I need to actually be a little bit selfish and think about myself for once. And I need to get out of Washington. I need to be around family in Dallas, and I need to train at the best gym in the world. And that's Fortis for me. So yeah, I'm truly happy. And so for me, the emotion, the overwhelming, it was just like like this decision was the right decision, and like the things that I've made, the changes that I've made were all the right things. And I've never been happier in my life. And that's a lot. Megan Levy, she actually came up to me during weigh-ins, and she was like, just asking me some questions and things like that. And she's like, when's the last time you've been like truly happy? And I was like, now, right now. But I couldn't say that, for the past 5 years. I've been, on a slippery slope, just very, very unhappy, and just kind of wasting my time, really. So that's what it was for me. So all those emotions kind of came to a head at that point when I got my hand raised, and I heard, my name being called, and it was just like, yeah, this is right. This is exactly where I need to be, and this is exactly the team that I need to be under. So it was a lot for me.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you're happy now. I'm so happy
Thank
for
you.
you that you're happy because, I mean, we all go through it, but I don't know what your personal struggle was, but I mean, man, life can be so cruel sometimes. You put yourself, I'm loyal by fault too, and that's got me into situations where I probably shouldn't have been. So I can relate
Yep.
to you with that. But my goodness, I'm so glad that you're happy now that you moved camps. You did whatever you needed to do to take care of Sam first, and
Exactly.
that's most important. And I'm sure you're figuring that
Yep.
out now, like I had to figure out later in life.
Yep. I've definitely had to figure it out, but I'm glad I figured it out whenever I did, and I was able to save that last fight on my contract and then sign a new one. So I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely happy, and life is good right now.
So you did get a new contract?
I did. I did sign a new contract. So I am pumped. I'm so pumped. Yep.
Awesome. Well, good. We get to see more SAMPAGE. How did
Yes.
you, let's get to a lighter note. How did you freaking celebrate out there in Vegas after that dominant win? How did you celebrate?
It's funny. Right after the fight, um, I was on a high and just going through media stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna complain about having to answer questions or be in front of media or anything like that, even though the camera is like not a huge love for me, but I'll definitely do it. But I love just like being around my team afterwards and talking. And then Coach Safe was like, hey, don't do anything stupid tonight. Don't drink, don't party, don't do anything. Just be around the people that you enjoy. So he actually flew back because he had to get back to coaching and things like that. So it was me, Charles Bird, and then my jiu-jitsu coach, Alex Trans. We just went to dinner, and it was like super lighthearted, super easy. And then whenever we got back, I had to get up at like 3 a.m. for my flight to get back to Dallas. And then I saw my family and just hung out with them all day on Sunday. Hung out by the pool, and that's pretty much it. I didn't do a whole lot. I waited until the next weekend whenever I saw my brother in Miami. And then, he showed me around Miami, hung out on the beach all day long. I got a little tan, so I'm excited. And then back to the grind. So yeah, back in the gym and just training for the next one.
Yeah, brother, Miami, say no more. You don't have to
Yep.
go into the, oh man, I bet that was that was a lot of fun.
It was a fun time. I actually ate so much food. I was like, man, whenever I get back, I'm gonna be so overweight. But I wasn't. I didn't even gain any weight. But I think it was because we were walking so much and in the sun all day. It's like, it was, yeah. So I'm happy.
Or at track and field, you probably built up a very high metabolism.
I think that's exactly what it was. My body was probably just like, man, you need all these carbs, and it was just burning it like a little furnace.
So, I mean, you already told me you have a fight coming up. Don't tell me who it is.
Okay.
But let me ask you, who would you like to fight next? And if it's the same person, don't say it. But let's say it. So let me take the question then. Um, who's your dream
You know
fight?
what? I don't actually. I get that question, especially after this last fight, and they're like, "Who do you want to fight next?" And I don't have anybody in particular. I just want to like whoever they give me, I want to fight them, and I want to win, and I want to keep climbing those ranks, and then in whatever in the next like 2 years, I want to be in the top 15. Like that's my goal, and that's the only thing that I'm focused on. So I want to just keep climbing this ladder, and beat whoever they put in front of me, and that's all I'm concerned with. I don't care who I fight. I just want to fight and keep climbing those ladders.
Well, at the rate you're going, I mean, I'd say probably a year until you're
Hopefully,
you're
yeah,
you're fighting Rose or somebody, you know.
yeah, yep.
Well, Sam, I really appreciate you coming on. Like, I'm a super SAMPAGE fan. Like, you have no idea. Like,
Oh, Dave, thank you so much. That means so much.
it means I can't believe you're on here. Like, I've interviewed everybody, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well,
SAMPAGE,
I'll come on
finally.
whenever you invite me back. I'll be on.
Oh, thank you. Real quick, because I know you got to go. I think I've taken up a lot of your freaking, and I am so sorry about the beginning
No, that's okay.
difficulties. I am so sorry about that.
That's quite
Um,
all right.
so the chat, let's see, we got Josh here. He never misses a live stream. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep. That's awesome. I love that so much. I'm glad I won you guys some money. Keep betting on me. I promise I'll keep winning you money.
Yeah, we took you as the dog. So like I said on DraftKings, like you were a huge underdog, and it was just like, thank you. I knew she was gonna win. She let them hands go. She there's Josh again. Um, did the wrestling and did all that, and
Yep.
the people like trolling me here about the Mike Jackson because let me tell you, I went on a freaking rant about that, man. So my viewers like to troll me because we have fun in here. So if you're seeing all the Mike Jackson stuff in here, that's why. Just letting
It's
you
so
know.
funny. I love it. I listen to it too, like on Twitter and everything else. That I know all about it. That's so funny.
Let's see. Okay, so this is from MMA Locker Room. You might end up on his show too. He's with Pub Sports Radio. They're very close friends of mine. They're another one like Sam Page. Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
This is Mills. He says, Sam, do you ever bet on yourself since you're always a huge underdog?
Yeah, so I actually do. The only fight that I bet on myself, but it ended up falling through was whenever I was going to fight Loopy.
Oh,
I
okay.
Yeah, I put $1,000 down on myself, but then it fell through, and so I was like, okay, I'll take it back or whatever. But yeah, I had high hopes for that one because I had fought her twice before as an amateur, and I was really excited for that fight. But yeah, my next fight, I'm definitely going to bet on myself since you can do that. So yeah.
You're not gonna do like I forget who it was who bet his whole fight first on himself and then lost.
Yeah, I did see that. I forget
I forgot who it
who
was.
that was.
Me
Who
too.
was it?
I forget, but God bless him for doing it, you know. That's
I
believing in
know,
yourself, right? And it's gotta intimidate the other opponent, right? You would think.
right? Yeah,
Like this guy's confident. But
exactly.
oh, Josh, will you knock it off? He says, so can you promise us the next fight?
Oh, that's so fun. You're like, knock it off, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, what's she gonna say? No, I'm gonna lose the next fight.
Right, exactly.
And then Julio's my dude. He says, I wish you the very best in your career, Sam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
And when you're on my show, you're gonna have a huge following now, Sam. Let me tell you, we have a
I
lot.
love it. I love it so much. I definitely need it. So
Oh,
keep them coming.
you're humble now. You're humble now, but I told a particular someone who we spoke about earlier that you watch, and now she's blowing up. And trust me,
Yep.
you're on that same path. So I'm glad I got you now before you're the champion, before you Juliana Pena, your friend, she's the champ now.
Right?
But she ain't ever coming on my show. But she got other
I'll have
things
to
to do.
mention something to her. I'll be like, "Hey, Julie, you should go on." But yeah,
Oh
it's
my
this
gosh.
is this is my personality. I have a good circle around me that kind of keeps me grounded and keeps everything like, "Hey, don't get that head too big." And it's never been that way, even in running in college and stuff like that. It's never been like that for me. But humbleness is a big big thing for me. Being humble, being respectful, being loyal. That's all key characteristics that, you know, I really pride myself on. So
Yeah, God bless you for it, because I would be the same way. Like, I mean, I have in this industry, I'm pretty big as far as like who I am, and for DraftKings FanDuel content, like everybody knows who I am. I got recognized once in public, and the guy took a picture with me and I made his freaking day, and that made my day. I was at
that's
the most
awesome.
random place, yeah, and I never thought that. Do you get recognized a lot in public?
So I've only got recognized one time, and that was in Vegas. And I went to go, you know, take a picture under the "Welcome to Las Vegas," like
Yeah.
that sign. And it was right after the T-shirt fight, and somebody asked me, they were like, "Oh my God, are you Sam Hughes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Really? You want a picture? I just lost. You know that, right?"
Aw.
They were like, "Yeah, but I loved watching you. I'm so excited for your next fights and everything else." So it was really cool. That was really like a humbling experience, and I was like, it was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then Smoothie Silk says, "Thank you, appreciate everything you do. Also a huge fan."
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. I hope I continue to be, you know, an inspiration and just somebody, you know, you follow.
And then Callie Kush, my man here, says she's a lock in the next fight for me. You best believe she.
Perfect.
And I hope you come in as the underdog. I hope so. Oh, I hope so.
I hope so too, honestly.
Okay, so he's going back to work. Chris Torres, my man, just throws up the boxing symbols. All my fault. I'm glad you guys all showed up. Make sure you support Sam. You follow her on. I don't think she's a big social media person from what I can see, but go follow her anyway. All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to post more. I'm doing a better job at posting more and just keeping stuff on my story and things like that. But Twitter, I need to get better on Twitter. But I hate Twitter so much.
I like it now because a certain someone bought it, but I'm not
Because
going to get
Elon,
into
yep.
that. Yeah.
I think it'll probably get better. It'll probably get better.
Oh, I know it will. I know it will.
Yeah.
But yeah, Smoothie still says, "Thank you for the interview. Definitely going to keep betting on you, Sam."
Awesome. Thank you, Smoothie Silk.
So that's gonna do it. I think that's it. So
Perfect.
SAMPAGE, thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Gabe.
much
Thank
for
you so much
coming
for having
on.
me on.
Oh my gosh, you're doing me a huge favor. I will always be a fan, 100%, like I've always been. Anything you need, you let me know. Um, any merchandise you're selling, I would like to buy some, but anything like as
Awesome.
far as that, the floor is yours. Anything you want to promote, if you want to talk some shit, if you want to, thank people, the floor is yours, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm just super grateful to be on this podcast. And Gabe, thank you again for having me on. I'm excited to be back whenever you allow me to, maybe after my next fight. Yeah, so just training really hard. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Sam Hughes MMA. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty simple.
That's it, huh? Okay.
That's it.
Well, if you ever have merch, let me know. I'll get the word
I
out
definitely will.
because we got to support these. We got to support these young ladies, these young men, because people don't realize they got to pay for their own flights. They got to pay for their own travel to get out, and it's not cheap. You got to pay your
It's definitely
coach.
not. It adds up quick.
It does. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna let Sam go do some jiu-jitsu now, beat someone's ass again, and thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna hit you guys with the outro, and thank you so much. Hold on one second, Sam. I'm gonna hit him with the outro.